Hello, it's Sean. Today I'm going to be taking a look at an army that I've previously painted. I've still got more to add to this army, but I wanted to show off what I have done. This is an Epic 40k Orc army. Epic 40k is also known as Epic Armageddon or Space Marine, depending on when you were playing it or when you got started with it. It's had a couple different names. Adeptus Titanicus is the current game that's offered, but it currently only has Imperial Titans. It's possible at some point they will add some additional things, maybe different factions. There's chaos going right now, but maybe they'll add some Xenos, maybe not. I don't know. I know some people are putting together some fan-made stuff so that they can fight Orc and Eldar Titans against the Imperial stuff. I have not played Adeptus Titanicus, so I'm not sure how the rules work or what it's like, but I have a lot of the old school stuff, and I use it for different games, including Epic, but it also has seen action in Future War Commander and a variety of other games. This is going to be used in Horizon Wars. I'm thinking about doing a sci-fi version of Rommel, which is a game from Sam Mustafa Publishing. It's a World War II game, obviously with a name like Rommel, but I think a little sci-fi bent on it might be fun. Anyway, I wanted to show off what I've got. As you can see, mostly my army is painted around the Bad Moons clan. I've also got some models painted up as Goths. I like the look of the Evil Sons, and I wanted to try that. I've never really done a lot of yellow, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. I like how they look. They're a little bit bright. Orcs probably should be a little bit more dirty, but in this scale, the bright looks nice on a table and it stands out, so I'm happy with the results. Infantry are a staple in pretty much any army. I have a fair number painted, but not near enough. The Orcs are a horde army, so I need to get more painted. I haven't really had a chance to spend time on them, or at least not made the time to work on them, so at some point I will get back to painting more of these, but as you can see, I've got a fair number here. I've kind of painted them into some different colors so that they can stand out. I've got some basic Orc boys here. I've got some knobs and mega armor that some of them have a standard bearer, some of them just have a regular boy helping them around. I also have some Gretchen models. Hard to see at this distance, but I'll take a couple of close-up pics so you can see them. And they're just very basic troops that have a gun without much armor. Really even more of a horde, kind of a cannon fodder almost. These models are some of the very early edition models. These are battle wagons for the Orcs. They have a big gun so they can do some fighting, but they also provide transport for the Orc army. I have about 30 of these painted to help move the boys around the table and get them into combat. I have a small collection of dreadnoughts ready for battle. I have a variety of miniatures. Some of these are metal. This one's metal. This one's metal. The rest are plastic. Well, I guess a couple of metal. These are 10 bots. Again, depending on when you got into Epic, they may or may not have been a thing. I don't think they're a different kind of unit in the more current stuff, but some of the old school stuff, they were a little bit different. But basically what all these are a Gretchen has been encased in a big metal robot, and they go around fighting and tearing apart people. They're an armored walker, and they can do both a little bit of shooting and a little bit of close combat. Here I've got some Orc Stompas. I've got about 12 or 15 of these painted. These are kind of the smallest Titans. They're kind of war machines. They're big, stompy robots, but they move fairly slow. I've got some painted in the Bad Moons, and I've got some painted up to match with the Goths. I like both. I think the colors, the bright Bad Moon color looks cool, but I also like the dark look of the Goth. This is a Giblet Grinder Battle Fortress. Again, depending on when you're playing it, a Battle Fortress isn't much different from one another, but it's a neat model. I only painted up one of these. I wanted to try out the color scheme on it and have kind of a big center point for my army before I got any of the other big stuff painted, and I'm pretty happy with how this looks. This is kind of a big beast of a tank, but without it being Titan class, but it's still got some guns on it, and it can do some damage. Here I've got about 30 Orc Gun Wagons. All of these I think came from the Epic Armageddon era. The models are pretty cool. There were older models for these, but these particular ones are from the Epic Armageddon era, where gun trucks were all just basically the same, even though they might have some different equipment. These are plastic and they have interchangeable turrets and the roller or claws or whatever on the front. You can see I have some painted up in the Bad Moons and some painted up as Goths. These are some of my favorite models. I really like the way they look. I'm happy with how these turned out. Depending again on which era you started playing Epic 40K, these might be called Bone Crunches or Bone Breakas or Gut Rippas. There's all kind of different names for the different Orc vehicles, but they kind of simplified them and made them all the same. In the old stuff, they each different type, depending on what it was equipped with, had different stats. And there's, I don't know, probably 8 or 10, maybe more different designs of these vehicles, which is cool, and it gives a lot of flavor to the army, but it's just a lot more unit types to keep track of, and they're pretty cool models, and I really like the way they look, and I plan to add lots more of them to my army over time. So as Orc armies go, this isn't a very big army. I don't have a ton painted, but I like the look of it. I'm going to do more. I might do more variety of clans, but for sure I will be adding more Goths and more of the Bad Moons, just because I like the way these look. I have lots and lots and lots of unpainted Orc models. I've managed to get a hold of some good collections from folks for reasonable prices. So I've got, gosh, I don't even know, probably a couple hundred more models to paint. And that's not counting infantry. That's just a couple hundred more vehicles. I'll take some pictures and kind of show them off. There's a wide variety of stuff that needs to be painted. A lot of it's the older stuff. A lot of it's metal, but a lot of it is plastic, and some of the older plastic, but some of the newer plastic as well. I've also got a variety of Orc Gargants. Got quite a few of those. Haven't done a lot with those paint-wise, so some of the ones I've purchased are half painted or poorly painted, and I'll need to strip down and repaint from the ground up. But I look forward to working on them at some point. These models are very cool because you can use them for a variety of games. As I said, these will be used in Horizon Wars. They're great for Epic, obviously, with the new Armageddon that's out with 40K. I've seen some people that are using these old school Epic models with the new rules. I don't know how that works because these are based groups, so I think you take individual ones, but whatever. You can work that out, figure something out. So then you can really have some massive, massive games with those Armageddon rules. Don't know how that would work. Don't know how the rules work, but it would be neat to see on the table. Of course, Epic, all of its various iterations are still possible, and you can play some really good games with those. If you're interested in playing this kind of game, but you haven't been able to get hold of the rules, there's some fan-made websites out there. Net Epic Gold, there's a variety of Net Epic games. Net Epic Gold, I think, is the most current. There's a Net Epic Armageddon, which follows kind of the Armageddon rulebook and lets you play with that kind of style, but they've continued to develop the rules and make army lists for it, so as more army lists have come available, you can use those in the game still today. I'll put a link to that website in the description, so if you're interested, you can go check that out. It's kind of fun to break out these old models and show them off a little bit, even though I haven't really painted on them lately. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this and the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click the bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, and there I post different projects that I'm working on, different games that I'm playing. If you have any questions or comments, you can post it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.